Oh yeah, baby. Rear wheel squeal. If you have one kid or maybe two, fine, go with the SUV. Even a sedan is a great choice. But if you add in a pet or another kid, or let's say you have two kids, but both of them are really into sports, you've got tons of gear, or maybe you're an adventurous family and you've got bikes and kayaks and camping gear and all that, the minivan is undefeated. Welcome to Dad Drives on HotCars. I'm Bradley Haselmeyer, a father of two and a car enthusiast just like you. And today, we're gonna set the record straight on minivans. Of course, when it comes to dad drives, we want something sophisticated, something that looks good, right? We're gonna compromise somewhere, but we want it to still be stylish. And I promise, look at this. This is clearly not the minivan you grew up in. Certainly not the one I grew up in. I think we had at one point an old Dodge Caravan. I always wanted that wood grain on the side, but we couldn't afford it. It was that trim was too much, I guess. I don't even know why. How much was that? Maybe an extra $80? I don't know. But anyway, you look at a van like this and you think, oh my gosh, this totally changed. Of course, it's got lots of aerodynamic elements to it because this hybrid gets 36 miles per gallon. In fact, you can only get the Sienna as a hybrid. You can't even get it as a V6 or a non-hybrid version, so that is what it is. Now on the front, you've got this huge black mesh grille. Some people have said the front of this kind of looks like a beluga whale. I'm not saying it does or doesn't. I think belugas are cute, so, you know, take that for what you will. It's got lots of these blackened out accents. I think the lines themselves look really good in terms of creating like a sporty looking van, but it also knows it's still a minivan. It's not trying to be a station wagon. It's not trying to be a really cool SUV. It's a minivan. It is what it is. It owns itself. 20-inch wheels. This is the XSE package, which is more of a sporty version. I like what it brings to the table with these black mirror caps. Also like the black on top of the door handles. That's really nice. And then nice black trim on the bottom. The XSE, I think it's performance package or plus, I think it's plus, also gets you the black roof rails, and then the crossbars were an extra that were part of this package as well. Around the back, you see these edges really pop, more angular headlights with this kind of three-dimensional element to it. I just really dig what's going on with this kind of diffuser that comes over the window here. The shape of the trunk squared off so you still get that nice cargo capacity, but at the same time kind of rounded. Looks really good, especially in this XSE package like I was talking about. I love this cement gray with the gloss black. Chef's kiss. Another really cool, convenient feature. See this little kind of Wi-Fi looking thing right here? When you kick under it with the key in your pocket, this door opens. Watch this. Key with me. If you're a parent and you've ever had to have your kid in a car seat, especially the rear-facing kind, and you put it on your arm to try to hold, and then you've got anything else, like a diaper bag or anything like that, and you're also trying to open the door, having that is an absolute lifesaver. Maybe it's rainy outside, you can't put the bag down. Maybe one thing's too heavy, you don't want to put the baby on the ground, or maybe you got to hold the baby, things. It's fantastic. The same kind of technology that you have with a rear lift gate, they do it on the sliding doors. Again, chef's kiss. It's just, minivans are undefeated, guys. Undefeated. And the 2025 Toyota Sienna is one of the best you can get. You've got a 36 mile per gallon hybrid, a laughable amount of cargo space in the middle here. It's amazing. Even space up front. The second row slides all the way to accommodate those 7-foot twin NIL eligible basketball high school kids you've got. Look how far I can go back. It even features a global debut piece of technology. The second and third row are monitored by some very special waveform technology. When you get out of the car and you lock it, if there's any motion in the car, could be a kid that you forgot, could be a pet that you forgot, could be a sandwich that was sitting in the back for too long and is now sprouting legs and running around. The car will pick up on that, start flashing its lights. If that doesn't work, it'll start honking the horn, and after a while, if no one's responded, it'll actually call Toyota and say, hey, we got a problem here. That's amazing. And in the back here, you have plenty of space down here, but also stow and go seats. Just pull it. For all those DIY projects that you think you're gonna do, but let's be honest, you're probably not. Or if you do, you kind of mess it up and you gotta hire somebody anyway. But it feels nice that you could help maybe move your teen into college, throw a sofa in here, pick up something on Facebook Marketplace that you're risking your life to save $10 for. Dad, you get it. On the interior, new for 2025, there's some updated materials and some color options. But even if you got something from 23 or 24, it's basically gonna feel the same. And I love this XSE because it's got just enough without being too much, and all of this is right at about $50,000. So up front, 12.3-inch, fully customizable digital dash. Very helpful because I'm somebody who likes to kind of watch the hybrid game. I like to see, like, what's my fuel economy? Am I on battery mode right now? Am I not? Am I charging the battery? How much battery do I have left? So I kind of like that gamification element. So you can customize the left gauge and the right gauge and even the middle display as well. Also, here's the upgraded 12.3-inch display. Uses CarPlay wirelessly, of course, which is great. And also this has the upgraded JBL 12-speaker audio system, and it has a sub, and it has an amp. Yeah, for your kids bop or your K-pop demon hunters, both of which have been playing very loudly, very regularly as I drop my kids off at school. So I really appreciate that. In terms of just like the creature comforts in here, storage is key. There's a shelf basically that runs from the left side all the way to the right. It also has a wireless charger in the middle. There's a USB-A, right? Isn't that the original USB? Or USB-B? I don't know. Anyway, it's the regular USB that you're used to from back in the day. Steering wheel is nice. It's got this cross stitching in it. I've got a lot of control buttons on the left. Speaking of buttons, in the middle, I've got all my climate, which I love. Climate to me is the most important for buttons because, you know, going up and down, I don't want to slide necessarily with that. I don't want to try to hunt and peck on a screen. All my audio, other than my volume button, which is a physical button, which I love, everything else is baked in. I'm fine with that. The shifter is like a regular good old big knob here. There is a sport mode. Speaking of modes, I do have drive mode, and I switched it over to sport, and I was pleasantly surprised. There's sport, normal, and eco. There is an EV mode button you can push. Basically what that does is it allows the vehicle to stay in battery mode a little longer than it normally would. You can't push this on the freeway, you're going too fast. You can't push it and then cram the accelerator and hope that the electric motor is gonna push you. It's gonna say, no, I give up, I need to use the engine as well. So I don't necessarily know when you would use that. Maybe if you really felt like you had to be super silent leaving the neighborhood and you didn't want to just be super careful to throttle the accelerator. You had some kind of mix there. Middle console, nice, deep, huge. Got napkins, some trash in here, a couple of USB-Cs. A giant cavern of storage. You can't see it from this view, but I'll show you like a POV. This thing is huge. You could put I put a jack-o'-lantern in here that we were painting the other day from a fall festival. There's some nice little trays in here to hold things so they don't slide around. It's made of rubber. Again, you could put like your camera or a purse or lots of different stuff down there, so I appreciate that. One gripe that I have from here is the cup holder situation. You know, cup holders are important to me. They're important to kids, therefore they're important to dads. This is just a regular cup, and this is fine. This fits fine here and here. There's these little cup holders. It doesn't quite fit there. So I had a smaller, like a little tiny cup, like a tiny, small cup of coffee fits. But it's just so rare that you would need that. I would rather them turn this somehow into like one large water bottle holder, but it doesn't. It doesn't work. And the doors have a couple of small places for cups as well. I think if you had like some mini cups, there's probably 20 cup holders in here. I'm not exaggerating. They're all over the place. You look around, you're like, oh, there's 2 in the door, there's 2 here, there's 2 more there, there's 2 on the back here. Each of the sliding seats has one. There's 1 in the door for both sides, all the way in the back. It's cup holders for everybody. But my gripe is I wish, you know, you're gonna be having big cup holders. You're a big dad, living your big dad life. So anyway, that's a downside. In terms of the seats, they are the soft Tex. It's kind of a fake leather. I'll be honest, it feels a little bit cheap, but it is gonna be very easy to clean. It does get a little sticky if you're wearing shorts and it's hot outside. I experienced that last week. It just is what it is, but easy to clean is a big winner. You do have 4 climate zones. I love this. I get a climate zone, the passenger gets one. The rear This is where my daughter sits and my son sits back here. They each get it, they can control it. I can also control it from up here, and I can lock them out of their controls if they want to be funny and turn up the heat, and I don't want that. Boom, I'm on it. Also, I like this feature. I can close the minivan door from right there. Pretty sweet. It's here. You can lift there and access the third row. Now, in terms of space in the back, I've got an okay amount of headroom. I've got my headrests that can flip up, and I have a handle here so I can recline my seat. My daughter was back here the other day, just laid out, totally chilling, and I thought, that's a good life right there. So that's third row. Man, if you've ever gone from any other vehicle to a minivan, you're just like, it's like moving from a small apartment to a much larger apartment, or from a small house to a big house. It's just, you have all this space. There's so much glass in here, huge windshield, big side windows, great windows in the back, all adds up to awesome visibility, versatility, another V, victory, all the V's, all the V's. Speaking of V, there's not a V6 in here. This is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Let's listen to the hum. I mean, it could sound worse. I will say it could sound worse, but that's the eCVT. If you've ever driven a CVT before, it kind of sounds like your gear is slipping, and it's actually a very efficient mechanism for driving in terms of transmissions, but in your brain, you're used to hearing like going through different gears. In fact, right before this, I had the Volkswagen Golf R. So you can imagine how much brain power I'm using to be in such a different vehicle. Now, there are 245 horses under the hood, thanks to the hybrid and the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. So those combined make 245 horsepower, which is pretty good considering it's a minivan. You know, this isn't a track attack. And listen to this. Oh yeah, baby. Rear wheel squeal. And also some of my camera goodies being thrown around in the back. I love that. I love that this is rear wheel drive. You can get it in all-wheel drive, and if I were buying a van, of course I would go all-wheel drive. It's the safest way to go. And Toyota has very smartly found a way to basically use an electric motor in the front instead of having to have a heavy diff with a whole separate system. So you're only gonna lose 1 mile per gallon when you go all-wheel drive. Usually it's 2-3 times that, which is, you know, kind of wild. So it's getting there, you know what I mean? I am in sport mode, I should note that. Of course I'm in sport mode. I'm a dad driving a minivan. I need all the little help I can get. There are a couple things that I really appreciate about this XSE trim. It is more of a sport trim, so the suspension has been tuned. There's actual stabilizer bars as well. The ratios for the spring back on the suspension, the rebound, have been adjusted. So this is the sporty version of a minivan. I appreciate that as well. In terms of the driving setup, everything's at my fingertips. They've done a great job of not baking all the controls into the dash. Do you hear that squeaking? That is something that's been kind of driving me crazy. I'm sure that's not a Sienna thing. It just happens to be this. Maybe my kid bumped a piece of trim. I don't know. I was looking back there, I couldn't figure it out. But if I were owning this vehicle, I would have my friend drive and I would sit back there and I would figure out what that is, because that is a wildly annoying sound. Maybe you can't hear it because my mic is right here, but for me it's like a giant mouse sitting back there. Anyway, in terms of driving position, you sit great. It's not too high, not too low. Heated seats, you don't get ventilated with this trim. That's probably a package that you could add on, but the way this one came, this XSE, that's not standard. Second row also doesn't get heated seats. There is a limited trim, which I would imagine probably gets some of that. I haven't done the research, but if that's what you're looking for, that's what you get. All right, hear that kind of like a little whiny. It's a little whiny, the engine, but overall, I'll take that for 36 mpgs. Now, I have been driving quick, as you just saw. I've been getting about 32, but 32 is fantastic. I have a 2006 Mercedes-Benz wagon. I love it. Just me. It's 3.5 liter V6. Just that vehicle gets 18 miles per gallon. On the freeway, I'm getting like 22. So the fact that this, at full tilt, sport driven, with kids, hauling stuff around, going around for a week, is getting 32, man, give me an open road. I've been driving this all week long, still have 389 miles of range. It's pretty fantastic. You know, yeah, look at this, the back and forth. Yeah, it's a minivan, it is what it is. But I appreciate Toyota has stepped it up a little bit by giving this XSE trim, better suspension, some stabilizer bars. Yeah, still got the ability to spin those tires. Love it. All right, Dad, so what do you think, huh? Does the Minivan, huh? Minivan that just happened, does it work for your life? The minivan for the man life that you've got, the dad life? Let me tell you, if you've never considered buying a minivan, or because you were jaded from those 80s and 90s boxy boxes of trash, you got to test drive a minivan. It's undefeated, bro. Let me tell you, whether it's the Kia Carnival, or it's this, or the Honda Odyssey, or the Chrysler Pacifica, at least test drive one. It will make your dad life so much easier, especially if you have more than just 2 kids. Even if you have 2 kids and they're very active and they've got lots of gear and stuff, it just works. It's purpose built. And the way a 911 should be on a racetrack, the minivan works. It's not a compromise from the standpoint of your own life, but yeah, sure, there's compromise involved. I mean, my kid wants 1 cookie, I want him to have 0, he gets half a cookie. That's compromise. There is compromise. But overall, you're winning with the fuel economy, the space. I think the style's pretty nice. The motion kick on the outside where the door opens, the stow and go seats in the back, all of these elements make dad life easier, and I'm all about making your dad life easier. So let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are. Make sure you're following Hot Cars on social for up-to-the-minute news and articles. Make sure you're following me, Bradley Hasemeyer, at BHaz on Instagram, at Hasemeyer on TikTok. I think I'm just gonna relax in here for a few more minutes before school pickup. Have a wonderful day and enjoy your drive. Oh yeah, turn that this way. Oh yeah, cozy.